My kids are never gonna do that. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney if you are new here. Today I am doing the brand new mum tag. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I was tagged to do this tag by Saam over on her channel. I'll link her down below. My answers are vastly different to hers. She's a great mum. So go check her video out as well. But I'm just going to jump straight into it. And if you wait till the end of the video, you'll see who I'm tagging to do this tag as well. Number one is, what is your favorite mum hack? I feel like even though I'm almost 2 years into the whole mum gig, I still haven't mastered the mum hacks. I guess one thing that comes to mind is something that surprisingly the mums that I've spoken to don't do, or they haven't done, or they didn't think to do it, but I feel like I thought that's what everyone did and it was common sense to me, was to pack multiple different spare outfits in your nappy bag. I have so many different outfits in there for like whatever weather, and when I mention that to people, they're like, oh, I wouldn't have thought to do that. And I was just like, my child is constantly getting food and stuff all over herself, so I don't know, maybe just always have a spare pair of clothes for your baby. I don't know, I don't think that's a mum hack, but that's all I can think of. Number two is, what is your most embarrassing mum moment? And actually one moment does stand out to me. I'm going to name and shame libraries here. I went to Chermside Library once, and Talia was probably a few months old, maybe 4 or 5 months old. And I was really struggling with being a mum, like a solo mum, doing it by myself. And I was just overwhelmed, and I thought maybe being around, you know, similar people with babies might help me. I went to the library to the classes that they do with like the nursery rhymes and things like that, and Talia just cried the entire time, and all the other babies, there was like at least 20 other families there, which was insane. They were all happy and clapping and dancing, and Talia was just crying and screaming because that's what she did when she was a baby. And I got so overwhelmed that I just got up, and I was very flustered, and I was going bright red, I could see. And I went to leave, I was just gonna leave, and I went, you know what, this isn't for me. And the lady who was running the show, like with the microphone and everything, literally stopped mid-song and looked at me and was like, oh, someone's leaving. And everyone just stopped and looked at me, and I was mortified. I left like crying. I was trying so hard to not cry, but it was mortifying and I was very embarrassed. So thank you, Chermside Library. I never ever went to anything like that ever again, just so you know. Number three is, what part of the day do you love the most? This one makes me laugh because Saam over on her channel, she said that she loves the mornings and she loves spending time with her little girl and, you know, waking up next to her little girl. Mine is the opposite. I enjoy the night times when I put Talia down to bed. That sounds so horrible, but it is my favorite part of the day. I love spending time with Talia, don't get me wrong, and I love playing with her and singing with her and spending time with her. But by the end of the day, I am done and I just want 2 seconds to myself. So I put her in bed and I'm like, hallelujah. Sounds so bad. That makes me sound like a terrible mother. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, bedtime is my favorite time of the day. Number four is, what part of the day do you like the least? I don't know if I have a part of the day that I like the least. I have a pretty like jam-packed schedule throughout the day, and I like every moment of it. Probably during the times of the day where Talia is just like super cranky just before her nap. I'd say she goes down for a nap pretty early at like 11 o'clock. So by like 10:30, she's just had it, and I'm usually out of the house at that time. So that's not the greatest time of the day, but I don't hate it. Number five is, the worst thing someone said to you while you were pregnant. That would have to be, I only shared the name that I'd chosen for Talia, if she was a boy or a girl, with maybe like 2 or 3 people the entire pregnancy. And one of the people that I used to work with, I shared it with her, and she flat out was like, I don't like that name. And that is the reason I didn't share my name. I didn't share Talia's name with anybody when I was pregnant because I was so scared that that was gonna happen. And she flat out, and I appreciate her honesty, I really do, I appreciate people like that because I'm like that too. She flat out was like, nah, I don't like that name. I was like, damn it, I shouldn't have told anyone. Number 6 is a baby name that you didn't agree on. There were many names that we didn't agree on, my ex and I, when we were trying to name Talia. One name that comes to mind is a boy's name, and it is Jameson. I love that name, but Andrew hated it, so it wasn't something, it was a name that I loved that we didn't agree on. I can't think of any girl names. Number 7 is, do you co-sleep? No, I have never co-slept, and not because of the whole SIDS thing. I mean, that plays into it. There is an aspect of it that I was aware of, but mostly because I didn't want to get her into that habit and then have to try and kick her out of my bed when she was older. I like my own space, especially when I sleep. So she has slept in my bed a couple of times by accident during breastfeeding times, when I would breastfeed her in the middle of the night and I accidentally would doze off. She generally would sleep through too if she slept in my bed, which was nice, but we don't co-sleep at the moment and we haven't really ever done that. I don't have anything against it if that's, you know, everyone's personal choice to do that. But personally, I would have no idea how to wean my child out of my bed, so I chose not to do it. Number 8 is something that you bought that you never used. Definitely all the really cute newborn clothes, like the little dresses that fit newborns and 0 to 3 months basically. For the first 3 months of Talia's life, actually probably even longer, she just lived in Bon Zippies. If you don't know what that is, I think they're only an Australian thing. They're like the best thing in the world. They have like flip out hands and flip out feet that you can either use or you don't, and then it unzips from the bottom so you can keep Bub warm during the night when you're changing them. And it also unzips from the top. It's just an amazing outfit, and that's literally all she lived in. She has so many outfits that are so cute from newborn that she never wore. So that was just a waste of money. Number 9 is 3 hospital bag must-haves. I would say a comfy pair of granny undies, like multiple pairs of comfy granny undies. I had so many of them and I wore them for so long after Talia was born because they were just comfortable. So that's definitely one of the things that is a must-have in your hospital bag. Another one would be just stupid amounts of baby clothes. I did not pack enough baby clothes for Talia. I didn't realize. I was like, we'll be there for a few days. I'll pack, you know, like 3 or 4 outfits. She went through like 3 or 4 outfits per day because she would vomit all over herself. So make sure you pack plenty of clothes for your baby. That's the one thing that we actually had to run back home and get multiple times because we underestimated how much babies vomit. And number 3 would be, it seems obvious, but your phone and your charger and a camera. You want to capture those moments in the first, you know, week or so of baby's life because it goes so quickly and you don't remember it. It's such a whirlwind. So make sure you bring your charger for your devices as well. Number 10 is, are you a routine mum or a go with the flow mum, and what does bedtime look like? I would say I'm probably a routine mum. I really like routine. I like having the set time she goes down for a nap. I like having the set time she goes down for bed and eats and whatever. I feel like I'm definitely a routine mum, and I get thrown off if my routine isn't there. And bedtime is actually super easy with Talia now. It's just we give her a bath. She has a bottle. Sometimes we'll read a book. I need to try and remember to do that every night. Most nights we read a book. And then I literally just put her in her bed and she goes to sleep. Like it's not something we struggle with anymore since we sleep trained. She puts herself to sleep. Bedtimes are pretty relaxing. Number 11 is, what type of labor did you have and what pain relief did you choose? I was induced at 39 weeks because my OBGYN thought that Talia was small and not growing, which didn't end up being the case. I just carried her small. So I was induced at 39 weeks, but I only had the tape that goes on your cervix, and then labor just happened very quickly from there. I was getting contractions on top of each other and I wasn't getting a break. I didn't choose to have any pain relief. The pain relief that I ended up getting was a shot of morphine, and they literally forced it upon me. I said no so many times to the point where they said, you need it, like your baby's stressing out, you need to slow labor down, your baby's not getting any breaks. And I was so upset that they ended up giving me a shot of morphine because that's the one thing I didn't want because it goes through to your baby. So I wouldn't say I chose to have that, but it happened. It was forced upon me anyway. I chose later on in labor to get an epidural, but it was too late. I was at 8 centimeters at that point and they said, no, it's too late. So the pain relief at the time that I chose, I didn't get, and the pain relief I didn't want was forced upon me. So I don't even know really how to answer that question. All in all, I'm really glad I didn't end up getting an epidural. And the morphine, I mean, it is what it is. The morphine had completely worn off by 8 centimeters, which was why I was asking for an epidural. Number 12 is, have you ever been mum shamed? I feel like everyone's been mum shamed at one point or another, and it's generally by people who aren't a mum. You just can't comprehend the complex situations that you get yourself into as a mother until you are a mother. I feel like before everyone has kids, you see kids on their tablets or, you know, like their mobile devices, or eating junk food or throwing tantrums in public, and before you have kids you're like, my kids are never gonna do that. And you are so wrong. I can't think of any specific time I've been mum shamed to my face, but the amount of like dirty looks I've had from Talia eating a packet of chips or her watching the Wiggles on her tablet, it's insane. So many people judge you, and you can tell the ones that judge you don't have kids. Number 13 is biggest challenge you have faced since becoming a mum. That would 100% be raising Talia by myself. For those of you who haven't followed my journey, my ex-husband, or husband at the time, was deployed when Talia was 7 weeks old, and he didn't come home until she was 14 months old. So I did the entire first year of her life and then some completely by myself. And that was extremely challenging. Wouldn't recommend it. I didn't have anyone to lean on. I didn't feel like anyone understood me. I had family members that were there if I really needed them, but it was really hard making this human with someone and choosing to make this human with someone and then they just disappear. That was extremely hard on me, and it was extremely hard on our marriage, obviously, because we're not together anymore. The deployment and raising a child by myself was rough. Number 14 is best advice that you have been given and the biggest advice that you would give to a new mum. I would say that every baby is different, and to not stress about the milestones. Talia was very delayed when it came to sitting up and rolling over and walking and crawling and everything. She was delayed in everything. And I was like, this internet article says that she should be walking by now, or she should be crawling by now. And my family who have kids are like, every baby's different, she'll do it in her own time. She's fine now, she walks fine. And not only that, the advice of like, you just do you. Don't worry about what other people think. Motherhood is hard AF, and you do whatever you need to do to get you through those early years, because they are hard. If you need a wine before bed, you do that. If you want to cry and watch TV, you do that. If you want to eat a bucket of ice cream and sob in the corner, you do that. Whatever helps you get through those days and years, you do you. Because even when you do those things, you feel so lonely and so isolated, and you don't realize that everybody goes through this. You see these mums on Instagram who just look like they have it together all of the time, or on YouTube they just look like they have it together all the time, and you're like, why am I struggling and they are not? They probably are, and they just don't show that side. So don't take every post you see as face value. Being a mum is hard, and just let you deal with that. Let you handle each situation as you handle them, because everyone's different, every situation's different. But you know what? Being a mum is hard for everyone. So you do you. That's my advice. Number 15, the last question, is who is your mum crush and who do you tag? I don't quite understand this question. Mum crush, like I just said, those mums who are like, seem perfect on Instagram and stuff, they're not my mum crushes. I don't particularly enjoy seeing their posts because it makes me feel like crap, and it makes me feel like a terrible mother. I don't know if I have a mum crush, but I watch quite a few family channels here on YouTube. It has died down a lot since becoming a mother because you get less and less time to watch YouTube, so you gotta pick and choose who you watch. But I would say that, yeah, the mums that I watch on YouTube, I wouldn't say they're my mum crushes. I don't really even know what that means, but I definitely admire them and I definitely relate to them, and I love when people share their journey and you know you're not alone. That doesn't really answer the question. Who do I tag? What do you mean? Like in Instagram posts on YouTube? I don't do tag videos very often. In Instagram, the mummy I'm always tagging is one of my best friends, Tian. You guys probably know her from A Mother's Open Book. I'll link her channel down below as well. I tag her in a lot of mum stuff. Okay guys, I'm gonna tag A Mother's Open Book, Tian from A Mother's Open Book, to do this because I'd love to see her answers. I'm also going to tag Maddie BTTC. She's another YouTube mummy over here on YouTube. I'll link all of these people down below. I'm going to tag her to do this as well. And I'm also going to tag Ayla and Caleb. You guys probably follow her over on YouTube as well. She and her husband have just had their beautiful daughter Nova, and I'm going to tag them as well. Anyway guys, that was the brand new mum tag. Thank you so much for watching. If you got this far in the video, well done. Don't forget to subscribe below if you want to follow us along on our journey. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!